Hey guys, it's been months since I touched NBA 2K20. My GM left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but I want to get back into it. So I looked through the historic teams looking to play, and I noticed a couple gaps that need to be filled. Shoutouts to Dom and Pat Gaming for the idea. Here are 5 classic teams that I believe should be in NBA 2K20. Just FYI, this is in no particular order. The first team, the 2009-2010 LA Lakers. I was actually shocked when I realized that none of Kobe's later championship teams were in 2K. Obviously, this team is one of the most remembered basketball teams of the late 2000s. I mean, 31-year-old Kobe, still averaging 27, 5, and 5, along with a later prime Pau Gasol. How is that not one of the first teams put into the classic section? This is a team that everyone remembers. The 2009 Finals was one of the best playoff series I think I've ever watched. The Celtics Big Three battling Kobe in a tense 7-game series. How is that not in there? The supporting players on this team make it worthy even without Kobe being there. Prime Pau Gasol, who is a perfect complement, Metta World Peace, Lamar Odom, Derek Fisher, and Andrew Bynum. I don't need to say anymore. Number 2, the 1992-1993 Phoenix Suns. Charles Barkley will always be the number 1 requested addition to NBA 2K forever, until he becomes available in the base game. This Phoenix Suns team was absolutely fun to watch. MVP Charles Barkley was probably one of the most overpowered players in 2K. My team, and this team would be one of the most fun teams to play with in the game. Charles only averaged 25, 12, and 5 assists in 1993, but the run and gun style that these Suns had would be a blast to play with. They had all-star Kevin Johnson, sharpshooter Thunder Dan Marley, and some really good role players in Tom Chambers and Danny Ainge, along with Cedric Ceballos and Richard Dumas, who both averaged in double figures themselves, which made this one of the deepest teams of that era. And of course, I would love to hear Chuck's dialogue in game. Number 3, the 1996-1997 Houston Rockets. Charles Barkley continues to plague my list. This Rockets team was still close to making the NBA Finals, even with their top 6 players all being over 33 years old. Hakeem still averaged 23, 9, and 2 blocks. Charles got his double-double with 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Clyde Drexler still put in 18, 6, and 6 himself. This team, even with aging superstars, would be so much fun to play with. The only classic Hakeem Olajuwon team we have is where he has essentially no help. Playing with this Rockets team would be a monster on both ends of the court, and is really forgotten not only in 2K, but in real life as well. Number 4, the 2008-2009 Orlando Magic. I really don't know why this team isn't in NBA 2K. There are really no teams with prime Dwight Howard, who, if you forgot, was an MVP candidate back in Orlando. This Magic team made the finals only to lose to Kobe, but was still one of the most well-rounded and built teams of the late 2000s. Dwight controlled the paint, and there were sharpshooters literally everywhere. Rashard Lewis was one of the best shooting bigs in the NBA. They had Hedo Turkoglu, the real Swiss Army knife, Jameer Nelson in his prime, young Courtney Lee, and young JJ Redick, along with Michael Petrus. This team nearly won 60 games and made the Orlando Magic relevant for the first time in nearly 2 decades. I'm really not sure why they aren't considered a classic team. Number 5, the 2004-2005 Indiana Pacers. Now obviously there are some certain events that didn't exactly help this team's case to be in 2K, but I honestly think that the history surrounding this team and the fact they are unbelievably dominant during their run in the previous season still makes them worthy. The previous year, with all their players playing, this Pacers team featuring Ron Artest, Jermaine Neal, and old Reggie Miller went 61-21 with the best record in the East. And to follow that up, they added Steven Jackson. That's an NBA title contender, no question. Ron Artest was going absolutely ballistic at this point in his career. He averaged 25 points and 2 steals. There was prime Jermaine O'Neal with 24 and 9, and Steven Jackson got 19 points as well. This team was a defensive monster, but their offense was not far behind. They also had some good role players that would have made this team a joy to play with, like Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, and Fred Jones. So guys, those were 5 teams that I believe should be in the NBA 2K Classic catalog. These are teams that they may be a little bit forgotten, but when you go back and look at who was on them, how they were playing at that time, and the circumstances, I don't understand why these teams are not in the Classic teams list for NBA 2K. But guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to leave in the comments what Classic teams you think should be in 2K. There's an endless list to choose from, so I'll be putting out another 5 very soon. But guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for the continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.